The Gillum Sports Complex for SEC Volleyball. The Ole Miss Rebels welcoming the 10th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks on the SEC Network. We are weeks away from the NCAA tournament, and Arkansas has a chance for an SEC title. They're currently a game behind Kentucky and tied with Tennessee at 12-2 in conference play. We thank you for joining us alongside the Olympian Key Michael. I'm Danny Wall. 22 wins for Arkansas, the most in program history under head coach Jason Watson. But Key, in order for the Razorbacks to go on a postseason run, what's it going to take?
Well, you're exactly right. Arkansas have been incredible this season, on fire. But for me, their biggest strength is their serve. They're number one in the SEC. They are really putting a lot of pressure on people from that end line. And there is no one thing that defines this team. They have a lot of strengths in a lot of different areas. For example, look at Jillian Gillen. She's one of the biggest offensive threats, also ranked number one in the SEC for service aces. Taylor Head, one of the big pin hitters, also ranks 10th in the digs. So Coach Bree Henry told us her main concern is slowing down these two pins, working on some triple blocks this morning, but I think there's going to be a lot more going on than just these two players on the court. One of the main strengths the last time these two teams met was the Razorbacks service pressure. 10 aces in that match on October 13th. Maggie Cartwright was a big part of that picture. She had 5 aces that day. But the whole Arkansas team, so dangerous from the end line. And that's bad news for a team that relies heavily on their middles in offense, as Ole Miss certainly do. They have two of the best in Peyton Burgach and Sasha Ratliff, but if they can't get the ball to the setter off the first contact, it's kind of a non-starter. So perhaps more importantly, these two, known as the Rebel Roofing Company, they'll be relied on heavily to patrol the net defensively, not only funneling the ball to the third best defender in the SEC in Kemi Nielsen, but blocking is the only category where Ole Miss have the edge in the stats on the SEC over Arkansas. They're going to need to lean into that heavily today.
This will be round 2 between Arkansas and Ole Miss. You see the resume for head coach Jason Watson. What a season it's been for him in 8 years, trying to get this program to another NCAA tournament. And the unique thing that he told us about, he didn't even think that this team was in contention for an SEC title. The coach never talked about it until just recently, as we are underway inside the Gillum Center. The first attack from Arkansas on the near side, Maggie Cartwright. For the middle, Peyton Burgach for Ole Miss. Here's a near side attack from the senior Anna Baird, just gets over the net. Cartwright swings again, and Arkansas takes the first point. And for head coach Bree Henry, trying to get this team back on track. She mentioned that in the last couple of games, she said the team took a step back a bit, back to the beginning of the year when they were at the Florida Gulf Coast tournament.
Yeah, she's trying to get her team back into an improving mentality, mindset of being in a good space.
Near side attack, Cartwright dug out in the back by Allie Bareilles, a setter. Here's Nia Washington attacking, and Ole Miss gets on the board off a violation from Arkansas.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of errors out of Arkansas in that spot. They're pretty clean. They play a lot of clean volleyball. That's the way that Coach referred to it. So Ole Miss will be happy to take one.
The set by Hannah Hogan from the middle. Oh, great dig. Off the attack by Sanaya Pettis. Pettis will try again. Stopped by Washington. Inside 10 feet. And Julia Dice gets it up front between the blockers.
She's also been someone that's been impressive over the last few weeks. She steps up when she's needed. And I think as far as Ole Miss, we talk a lot about their middles. Their pins have to find ways to score, and she's been doing that recently.
Received in the back by libero Courtney Jackson. Taylor Head swinging, and what a forceful kill. And Taylor Head punted a 1-2 punch for Arkansas alongside Jillian Gillen.
Yeah, that's exactly what Bree Henry told us before the match. That's what she's been focused on. And we saw them in training this morning. Specifically, they had their coaches wearing the numbers of the players of Arkansas, trying to slow them down in different ways.
Washington gets the kill as the block went out.
Yeah, great swing, clean, no touch, just straight out.
One of the biggest things that Coach Henry worked on or talked about with us that they've been working on is getting more production from their outside hitters, as that's going to be an attacking error from Head. 4-2 start for Ole Miss.
Yeah, not bad. They've capitalized on a couple of errors on the Arkansas side, but you're exactly right. Those pins, she talked about them trying to access the line, so look for that throughout the match. They're going to try and avoid the big middle blockers and find a way to swing line.
Another attacking error from the Razorbacks. 5-2 Ole Miss. Coach Henry also talked about with those outside hitters trying to improve and deepen their toolbox here in the final stretch of the year. It's Peyton Burgach on the serve, one of the 5 seniors on this Ole Miss side, as Taylor Head able to stop the drought for Arkansas.
Yeah, and I wouldn't imagine that Arkansas is too concerned just yet this early in the match. And now, especially once they get to the service line, this is where they do the most damage.
From the middle, Sasha Ratliff gets going, her first kill.
That was a great ball in, pretty much a great example of keeping the ball in system, keeping the setter on the net. She barely had to move. She could get Ratliff that ball quick, fast, and avoid the block.
And even though Arkansas might be unfazed here early, Coach Jason Watson said, hey, the middles for Ole Miss have been elite throughout the season. It's going to be a tough battle as a block by Dice on the near side. Ole Miss is rolling.
Yeah, the blocks is one category in which Ole Miss has the advantage over Arkansas, so that might put a little concern on Coach's face.
Hogue on the far side. There's Gillen, her first swing. Bump set to Dice. Too strong.
She's looking for that line, though. Exactly what we talked about that Henry's been focusing on. Searching for that zone. And even if you're not going to get it, you might get a touch on the way through. I think that's what we're looking for here.
We'll have our first challenge of the night. We saw Coach Bree Henry walking over to the officials' table.
There is timeout on the floor. Ole Miss is challenging the ruling.
Key, what do you see?
I don't see a touch there. No fingers moving. It's a nice high swing, good clean contact, but nothing in the touch for me. Usually you'll see the fingers in slow motion moving kind of awkwardly.
Seems to be a quick review. And what do you know? There was a touch.
Well, there you go. Egg on my face. That's an Australian saying.
Well, so
Coach
now,
Watson will know it.
Yeah. So now it's 8-3. Ole Miss. I mean, what do you think of the start so far for the Rebels?
I think that the score should be reversed. There it is, 8-3. Yeah, that's a great start for the Rebels. They knew they would have to come out with pressure. They can't, if you're playing against a ranked team, you have to come out firing. That's exactly what they've done.
Service error. Here's Jada Lawson, the junior from North Little Rock, serving for Arkansas. Set by Borales and Ratliff. Wow, what power.
Wow, Ole Miss love getting their middles going, and this is exactly why. She's powerful, she's fast, she's contacting that ball really high, basically going over and around the block. Ratliff has been referred to as a beast by many a coach, and that's exactly why. She's going to get going early. They're looking for her every single time.
That's why she has the best hit percentage in Ole Miss history as well. Low reception for the Razorbacks. Gillen pokes it over, dug out by Anna Baer. Running in from the attack line is Dice. Out.
I still like that swing, and I think Coach Henry does too. There's some aggression to it, so she's not rolling that ball when she's out of system. She's not looking into the bottom of the block. She's going deep for that end line, so that's still a good swing, even if it's out by a couple inches.
Received by Dice. Ratliff swinging, and that time in the back head was ready. Gillen getting up high on the attack, and now you're starting to see Jill Gillen get involved, her first kill of the night.
And it all starts with that defense. The middle back just kind of sitting in that pocket where Ratliff had success earlier. That allows the team to go again, get Gillen involved in the offense.
super senior for this program, spending all 5 of her seasons with the Razorbacks. And after the overpass, Gillen right there. And now the Razorbacks starting to mount the comeback.
There you go. That's exactly what we're talking about in serve. It doesn't have to be an ace, but the ball's coming back over on Arkansas' side, and they can capitalize on it.
Hogue serving again. Bear on the swing. Courtney Jackson libero setting up Gillen, blocked. Still in front, near side, Cartwright. Bump set from Neeson, the Bear, blocked. Sent back the Rebels' way. Bear will try a second time, and she is denied by the junior middle blocker, Zoe Evans.
Coach Watson talked about Evans and how she's finally getting her chance on court. She's been sitting a couple of years, she redshirted, and now she's really impressing him and all of the SEC with her blocking style.
Some miscommunication there from the Rebels, and a 4-0 run ties the set up at 9.
Well, you hate to see it if you're an Ole Miss fan, because that was an opportunity there. A big lead, a few points, just a chunk of points there that they could have kept to the end of the set, but Arkansas with that strong serve again.
And a Bear will set for Ratliff. Free ball for the Razorbacks. Hogue to Evans from the middle, blocked by Ratliff. And that'll snap the run for Arkansas.
Ratliff, one of those players that can do a little bit of everything. She's an offensive threat, but also read that really well. Just kind of hung out there in the middle. Just had to go low and tight. Didn't need to do too much movement on the sides.
Ratliff a senior as well, but has the option for one more year of eligibility. Received by Taylor Head, and from the middle, tied up again, Maggie Cartwright with the kill.
This is something to look out for on Arkansas' side. The opposite, coming through and swinging on the middle. They're kind of running those routes. They're running different zones of the net, which makes it so difficult for the blockers of Ole Miss to kind of follow her. There has to be really good communication.
That's why Coach Henry talked about they've been working on plays out of system this morning in serve and pass. And a Bear gets the kill for the Rebels. How do you think that working out of system in serve and pass will help the Rebels going forward tonight?
Well, you got to be clean in out-of-system play. You have to be really disciplined when you have those opportunities. When Arkansas's in system, they can run what they want. It's going to be so difficult on the blockers. But as soon as you get the setter off the net or it's a high ball, there have to be 2, maybe even 3 blockers up.
Oh, goes back to Taylor Head. And the second time connecting. Now you're starting to see a back-and-forth battle through set 1 key.
Yeah, that outside swing, lots of heat, and she's turning her body down the line, so the blockers are in a good position there for Ole Miss, but she does a great job of rolling off the hands and out.
Ole Miss want to avoid being swept again by the Razorbacks. Arkansas won the first matchup on October 13th. Here's a swing by Head, stopped in the back by Neeson. From the middle, Burgage, oh, great up, but out. Point Rebels.
Burgage, the other half of that middle blocking duo for Ole Miss, which is so strong. And again, someone that Ole Miss have to get involved more and more often. They're struggling to hit from the pins, score from the pins, but also got to have those middles running.
Hogue goes to Cartwright, stopped. Cartwright swings again, and that time Arkansas ties it up. 6 ties already in set 1.
Maggie Cartwright said she chose Arkansas specifically for the staff. She feels really comfortable here. She's found a place where she can really shine as a volleyball player on and off the court, I think.
The very senior-led Arkansas team as Burgage with authority sent straight down.
Love that swing, aggressive, fast, and she's just running that route early. Watch how her shoulder goes away from her body, so the blocker from the middle on Arkansas' side takes 1 step, but she can't really cover that zone.
But a service error ties it up once again. That's the one thing you can't do when you're trying to find some momentum. You got a big kill there from Peyton Burgage. You can't have it stalled with a service error.
Yeah, and it's difficult, right? Because there's this risk-reward ratio when you're at the end line. Put pressure on the other team, but also don't make mistakes.
Here's Dice from the attack line. Hogue setting up Sanaya Pettis. Dice found the spot in the back row. And Julia Dice starting to get back in rhythm. Coach Henry said she had kind of struggled in the last game against Tennessee.
Yeah, she's had some good matches, some hot and cold matches this season. But I think what I like about so far in this match, she's aiming deep. She's searching for that end line or those sidelines, which maybe she's missing by a couple inches sometimes, but she's not going into the block.
Answering back is Gillen. That is 12 straight points back and forth that we've seen. I mean, it's a battle just to try to establish dominance early.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss had a little bit of it, then a little bit of a foothold. And Arkansas coming right back in every single time.
Near side Dice. Gonna get that one through. Gillen. Oh, great dig in the back by Maggie Miller. Dice from inside 10 feet. Still in play. Gillen got it. Wow. Free ball sent over by head. Ratliff, no. Gillen a second time. Rebels couldn't find it. Point Razorbacks. What a rally.
Great rally for Arkansas.
15-14 start for the Razorbacks. More to come after the break.
Yeah, Arkansas has been on a roll, not only in just these meetings, but they've been really climbing in the ranks over the last few years, just really developing themselves as a team to be a threat against anyone they play.
But Ole Miss is putting the pressure on Arkansas early. They're hitting at 333 so far in this first set. And when Ole Miss hits above 200, they're 10-4 on the season. But when they're below 200, they're winless, 0-12. And that's going to be the big thing to keep out for Ole Miss in terms of hitting. To hit from a high clip moving throughout this first set. As Lawson serves, we resume play inside the Gillum Center. Julia Dice came in a bit too strong, but it was a touch. 9 ties in set one. This has been a back and forth battle.
It has, and again, I love that swing from Dice. She finally got that touch. That's what she's been going for. She's been swinging high and deep all match long. Really kind of disciplined in that regard, not to just swing down into the block in front of her.
Ole Miss, even though they're 10-16 on the season, they play fairly well at home, 7-3 inside the Gillum Center. Here's Gillen on the attack for the Razorbacks.
She continues to be a threat. Top scorer so far with 5 kills. And it's pretty much as expected. The Pins doing all the scoring for Arkansas.
Here's a set by Bareilles. And right down the middle, Julia Dice, she's starting to find some momentum. Her 4th kill in the set.
Yeah, and I like Ali Bareilles finding her as well from the backcourt. So we saw her kind of get a little bit of rhythm there in the front and now use her in that zone as well. Try and make those patterns difficult for Arkansas's blockers to read.
Hannah Hogue setting up Jill. Gillen blocked by Bergach. Ole Miss takes the lead.
Great read by Bergach, because I was watching that route and there were a few different things happening. Cartwright was running through the middle was running to the slide, and yet she still went the direct way to the outside, the correct choice.
And an ace as well as Neeson found the back corner.
Beautifully done. Again, aces heavily favored on Arkansas's side, but if Ole Miss can get themselves a little bit of a run there, and that one falling between 2 players.
Well, Arkansas will call a timeout to talk things over. Ole Miss, or correction, it'll be a challenge instead, as Jason Watson wants to challenge where that ball landed on that attempt on that. Well, right now it's going to be an ace for Cammie Neeson.
From where I was sitting, that was in by a mile.
It was close because you saw some of the players for Arkansas in the back kind of hold off at the end thinking it was out.
I think that might have been wishful thinking by the coach.
Call stands.
Yeah, if you can see it touching more in than out, it's in by a mile.
So we've seen both coaches use a challenge so far in the first set. Coach Henry will retain her challenge, but Coach Watson will lose his. Oh, great dig from Bailey Middleton. An even better dig from Jackson, but it's going to be a point for Ole Miss. They're finding some momentum, a 4-0 run now.
And was that a net touch called on Arkansas? They've kind of struggled at giving up some unforced errors a couple times already.
So now Arkansas will call a timeout, and head coach Jason Watson will talk things over with his team. Tomorrow night, the women's basketball season continues with the Clemson Tigers taking on the top-ranked South Carolina Gamecocks at Colonial Life Arena. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. And looking at the RPI for teams in the SEC, 7 teams made a tournament last year. Well, Key, 7 of the 8 teams we're seeing here in the top 30.
Yeah, the SEC is no joke. They are a fantastic conference to be a part of. I mean, every single team, there's strength in every area.
It's only getting bigger. You got Texas, Oklahoma next year. 2025, I believe, you get Vanderbilt. They get a volleyball program. It's going to be extremely stacked in the SEC. I feel like at this point, should there be a conference tournament for the SEC to see who truly is the best? Because the SEC doesn't do a conference tournament. Kentucky's won the SEC the last 6 seasons, and what a season they've had. But there are so many teams like Arkansas trying to challenge for that top spot.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The strengths are all across the board, and there's just a lot of depth.
And you see the selection show just a few weeks away, the weekend of Thanksgiving. Then the tournament starts into the month, and then all roads will lead to Tampa, Florida for the NCAA semifinals and the championship you can catch on ABC. How incredible is that, Key? The NCAA Volleyball Championship on ABC.
I mean, I just love that we get to see it anywhere on TV. It's streaming, and that combined with the new professional leagues here in the USA, more volleyball, the better, always, I say.
Out of the Arkansas timeout, 19-16 Ole Miss. From the middle of poke by Maggie Cartwright. Bump set by Neeson. Anna Bear swings off the hands. Ole Miss 20-16 in set 1. How about this first set for the Rebels?
Well, their defense has really stepped up, and we saw Arkansas running that route there again. They're running Cartwright through the middle while the middle's running the slide. So that's a difficult route to be aware of, but the defense picking it up every time.
Gillen on the attack. That's her 6th kill. So we're kind of seeing who the leading attackers are for each side. For the Razorbacks is Gillen. But for Ole Miss, Julia Nice, 5 kills, hitting at 400 so far to start.
Yeah, I like that. The pins finding a little bit of range on the Ole Miss side. Really starting to balance the offense.
Gillen snapping the largest run of the set. 5-0 from Ole Miss. And Dice continues to apply pressure. That's her 6th kill.
Yeah, I'm liking this Borellas-Dice connection. They found something that's working here in this match, and whether it be the tempo, the timing, the spacing, the positioning on the court, they're just really kind of great communication between the two.
Far side, head gets one in. How can Arkansas fight their way back here down by 3?
Well, that's one way to do it. How about a one-handed set to the outside? That was beautifully done. But again, they're really known for their strength in service, and that could get them back into the set.
4th kill for Head. Borellas to Bergach, too strong. No touch. Point Razorbacks. So now Ole Miss will call a timeout to talk things over. I mean, for head coach Bree Henry, this is her first full season with the program, 2nd year overall. And she's got to be pleased with the way her team has fought so far in this first set.
Yeah, and it's kind of now or never for them, right? They've got a couple more matches here at home, and they're looking to find some momentum here towards the end. They've had a couple of wins at home, a couple of losses on the road, but anything they can do to just build that momentum going forward, and it starts with perhaps winning a set, taking this first set off Arkansas.
The biggest thing is that throughout this first set, the middle blockers in Peyton Bergach and Sasha Ratliff got things started. Once the Rebels settled in, they started to see more attacking from their outside hitters like Julia Dice. 6 kills and 11 swings, sitting at 455.
And that's really important, specifically because Arkansas will have a game plan. They will have scouted. They will have decided what they're going to block and where and when and who they're going to focus on in terms of hitters. They certainly will have keyed in on the middles. But if the Pins can take some pressure off of that offensive load, that starts to be a different ballgame. Now Arkansas have to think a little bit more about who they're going to dial in on in the offense and who they're going to put their pressure on in the serve as well.
And defensively for Ole Miss, 4 blocks in the first set. The Rebel Roofing Company putting in work, being able to limit some of those attacks as well.
Well, I was actually surprised this morning when I saw the players jumping, because sometimes in serve and pass, you'll just focus on serving and passing and you won't jump. But we saw Ole Miss doing that this morning, and it looks like it's paying off.
I mean, what a careers from Ratliff and Burgotch. Ratliff now at 381, so she is 2 away from tying Regina Thomas for 3rd all time. And if she chooses to come back for one more season for Ole Miss, she could be the all-time block leader by the time her career is over.
Yep, that's absolutely possible.
Out of the Ole Miss timeout, Arkansas down by 2. Bear swings. Point Rebels.
Again, the offense the Rebels are running right now, it's looking really clean, and the choices that Ali Bareilles is making.
From the middle, Pettis. Oh, great save by Bareilles. Running up his Dice. Stop by Head. Near side, Cartwright. Point Razorbacks.
Point Arkansas.
Cartwright's someone who kind of goes under the radar, I'd say, in terms of offense. Already 4 kills, but you wouldn't know it. She's not a super flashy player, just kind of goes up, goes about her business, runs her route, whether it be in the middle or on the right side, and just goes back. Serve right after.
Low reception by Neeson. Dice swings. Gillen with a save. 3 ball sent over by Hogue. Washington. Point Rebels. 23-20 Ole Miss.
Fast, athletic move there out of Washington. She's almost like another middle. She can run that really quick ball behind, and you saw it there in the replay. There's only 1 block up.
And swings in the block by Ratliff. Set point Rebels.
Right on cue, Ratliff, just as we were talking about her blocking prowess. Gets one going for Ole Miss.
Razorbacks use their final timeout of the set. Set point Ole Miss. What a big turnaround and a start for the Rebels. The biggest thing as well through this first set, Key, everyone's getting involved. There, 5 different players have at least 2 kills or more in this first set.
Yeah, and we looked at a little bit of both these 2 teams, like you mentioned. We kind of had an idea of what we were going to see, but I like that you mentioned that they're so well spread out across a few different players.
And you see the rebuild of the Rebels program. You know, had a great 2021. 2022, midway through the year, is when Bree Henry took over it and trying to rebuild this program and get them back to the NCAA tournament. 2021 was the last time the Rebels appeared in the tournament, a first-round exit, though. But if they can find some momentum and just build from here on, I mean, Coach Bree Henry has a good set of younger players that's trying to improve. One of them being Neil Washington, who we've seen get some kills already, 3 so far in the first set.
Yeah, and she talked about her as well this morning, someone she's been impressed with. She's kind of working into that role. And again, she said she needed a terminating pin, so she's trying to get different players involved in that role, kind of finding those pieces to the puzzle.
Fans on their feet inside the Gillum Center. Set point Rebels. Served by Burgotch. Hogue to Taylor Head. And how about Head adjusting that swing, going to the back. Point Razorbacks.
That was one of the things that Coach Bree Henry said she was working on, that defense, kind of adjusting to run that ball down. Looks like it's still working, though, for Head.
Low reception by Miller. Dice swings. And Ole Miss takes set one, 25-21. The Rebels hitting over 400 in the first set and lead.
Looking to play their best volleyball against you, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. Ole Miss stepping up a level because it's a number 10. It's a ranked team in their home gym. So Arkansas, I'm sure, is ready for it.
Ole Miss hit 429 in set one. The Rebels have not finished an SEC game hitting above 300. Could that change as set two's underway? The first attack and point go to Ole Miss and Nia Washington.
I like that first swing. Again, it's something that I think Coach Henry told us about in so many words. Their players and their attackers, their pins, trying to swing high for hands. They're not looking into the block, and it's working.
On the near side, Gillen gets that one over Ratliff. And Gillen picking up where she left off, her 7th kill.
Gillum, super impressive. Not one of the tallest players out there. She's 5'7", but she's really athletic, and she finds ways to score, and that's a good example there. Tipping through the block, past the block, gets a couple players on the floor.
Overpass, point Rebels. Almost an overpass, but Arkansas going over the net. Back to Gillen for a moment. Head coach Jason Watson said that this season's kind of been a redemption year, or a bit of a revenge year for Gillen. She didn't have a bad year last season, but having an injury late in the year kind of derailed her success.
Yeah, and that's tough. So she's got a lot to prove this season. She's kind of using it to build for another season going forward.
Cartwright.
Or sorry, her last season is this season, right? She's a graduate student now.
Yeah. Dice dug out in the back by Gillen. Near side head. Hogue goes back to Taylor Head. Point Razorbacks.
Point Arkansas. Sonata Pettis on the board for Razorbacks.
Head going really aggressive there down the line. Really working past the block. So they're taking cross on her, it looks like, and she's got a lot of space to work with down that line.
Service error. First service error for Arkansas tonight.
Yeah, Arkansas had a couple of unforced errors in that first set, and that's what gave Ole Miss that big lead, but they then crept back in, and it was something towards the end where Ole Miss was really earning those points, so Arkansas not going to want to start giving them away again.
While the Rebels hit above 400 in set one, Arkansas hit at 237. Here's Dice from the attack line, stopped by Hogue, bump set by Gillen to Cartwright. And a bear on the swing. Too strong. Point Arkansas.
There's that high swing we've been talking about, and again, looking to access line. So she's trying to avoid the block, but that one just a little bit too high.
Will we see 10 more ties like we did in set one? Tied up at 3 to start. Here's a serve by Cartwright. Near side, Ratliff blocked. Still in play. Here's Bear on the swing. Stopped in the back by Cartwright. But nobody there to receive or set. Point Rebels.
Yeah, you hate to see those kind of miscommunications, but that's exactly what the Rebels will love to see. I'm surprised we haven't seen more out of Dice yet this set in terms of attacking for Ole Miss. She was on fire in the last.
Bump set by Hogue. Cartwright beyond 10 feet. Burgach, oh, great save by Jackson. Couldn't get it over, though. 5-3 start for Ole Miss. Do you feel like it's more of the offensive pressure from Ole Miss, or Arkansas that's having some struggles overall?
It's a little bit of both. Arkansas, I think, are having some uncharacteristic struggles in those communication moments and the touches at the net, and maybe exactly right there, miscommunication in the reception.
Another ace for the Rebels. They are rolling at home. The second ace, excuse me, for the Rebels. Three 0 run for Ole Miss. A serve by Neeson. Near side tip, head, no. Oh, great save by Bailey Middleton. Taylor Head tries again. Third time a charm, no. Middleton the dig. Bear swings, blocked. Oh, Middleton another dig, but it will be a point for Arkansas. So Naya Pettis got that one through.
That had a little extra something on it from Pettis. I'm impressed by her in terms of she's not a big part of the offense for Arkansas, and the coach talked about that. His middles are more defensive, but when they have a chance, they're ready.
Burgach answering right back. This has to be great for you as a middle blocker, Key. Seeing first Pettis for Arkansas and then Burgach for Ole Miss.
Yeah, and that one in particular, because it wasn't a perfect connection. It was a bit high. She had to reach for it, but she got a bit of luck there that the middle had jumped with the setter.
Near side, Gillen. Boy, Razorbacks, and you can rely on Jill Gillen if you're Jason Watson to get your team back in rhythm.
She is nothing if not reliable. She's not flashy. She's not, the most hardest driven ball in the gym, but she is getting her points over and over, and I think it's got a lot to do with her wrist, her roll. She's looking into the block and out.
Bareilles to Bear. Hogue sets up Gillen. And it's the light touch there. It's the adjustment on the swings. Didn't have to hit it hard, just need to get it over the blockers.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That was out of system. She's kind of falling backwards. It wasn't the perfect set for her, but hey, instead of doing something less than clever, swing into the bottom of the block, she finds a way, finds a solution. That's the toolkit that players and coaches are always talking about.
Burgach, great save by Head on the attack. Gillen running in as Dice on the dig. Washington swings. Point Rebels.
I like the addition of Washington to this Ole Miss side. She's added a lot of spark. And again, a little out of system, so it's basically just thrown up and down, straight up and down is that set, and she does something clever with it.
And Washington hitting at a high clip, extremely effective here to start. Gillen from the middle. Great dig by Bareilles. On the far side, Dice and got it off the hands of Evans. It's just the unique angles of attacks that we're seeing from the Rebels tonight.
And I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and they are all so excited by that swing. And I think that's the key here for Ole Miss, is doing those little things right. It's not necessarily getting that crazy hard attack. It's just finding the right moments to score.
Oh, Burgach up front. She is locked in.
She didn't have to do much to move there. That was a straight up and down play, and I think Arkansas kind of playing right into Ole Miss strengths right now.
Almost another bad reception there. Gillen denied. Burgach back-to-back blocks.
Great job by Burgach. She is patrolling the net at the moment. And watch that inside arm. Her left arm is where all the damage is done there. She's not allowing that cross-court swing.
4-0 run for the Rebels. More to come. Home matches this season for Ole Miss, and Key, they want to finish on a high note.
Yeah, and they're looking really good to do it. Bree Henry there locked in because her team are doing some things they've been working on in training. And one of those things, out of system blocking. You saw some big blocks there from Burgach.
Near side, Gillen, too strong. Point Rebels. And one thing that Coach Bree Henry also wanted to focus on, pretty much the main key tonight, stop the pins. So outside of Gillen, who has 9 kills for the Razorbacks, see a challenge here. Everyone else has been limited.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Coach Henry said, we want to slow down those pins, and that's what they...
And the call stands. Jason Watson out of challenges early.
Well, this is the question now. Things are starting to go wrong for the Arkansas side. Now, if they want to be a competitive team, not only in the top of the SEC, but in the NCAA tournament, these kind of moments, they have to find solutions.
It's all about how you can respond to adversity as we resume play. Zoe Evans, that's how you do it right there for Arkansas.
And I love that choice. She hasn't gotten a lot of ball. It's been all pin heavy on Arkansas side. That's the moment to fire up your middles.
Something's got to get going for Arkansas. They're hitting at 193 now. They're being outblocked 7-1. Also 10 attacking errors so far in the match. On the serve is Hogue. Dice starting to get back involved offensively. Gillen swings. Point Razorbacks. Gillen, double-digit kills on the night.
Good use there by Gillen, and she knows she's had some struggles on that zone, so to focus high against the hands, again, she's trying to swing away from Bergach. Does a good job there. This
is where your seniors have to step up and start to provide a spark. Gillen doing that. Near side, Washington with authority. Nia Washington has elevated her game from the start of the year to now.
That's a huge swing, and the blockers are really heavily focused on Bergach there, and that's what opens that up. You see that wide channel for Washington to deliver down the line.
Service error, though. We've talked about it a couple of times already, Key. When you have such momentum, you can't have self-inflicted wounds or errors.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in because every set server from the end line wants to be the one to get the ace or to get the other team out of system, but you're so on point there is you've got to force the other team to earn their points.
Gillen a service error. So back-to-back, that was the third for Ole Miss, the second for Arkansas. Correction, the third for Arkansas.
Arkansas, no aces. Or they have one ace so far, is that right?
Correction, one ace. Service error is continuing, though, that time on Bailey Middleton.
Point, Arkansas. Courtney Jackson serving.
Serving normally one of Arkansas's big strengths. They really haven't tapped into it yet tonight.
Arkansas leading the SEC in aces. Haven't really seen that tonight. Dice on the attack. Hogue the Gillen from the middle. Oh, great save by Bareilles. Dice from inside 10 feet, too strong. Point Arkansas.
Point Razorbacks.
And another bit of luck there for Arkansas. I wonder if they will start being a bit more aggressive from the service line.
We'll find out as Jackson serves again. And another service error.
I mean, that is an aggressive serve, right? I mean, it's going just out of bounds, and it's clearly targeting one player down the line. And that was something that Ole Miss really struggled with last time they met. They took 10 aces, 10 balls just hit the floor on Ole Miss side.
I was going to ask, do you still take those chances if you're Arkansas? Service error, Ole Miss.
I think that's probably what got Arkansas to this point, is taking those risks and reaping the rewards when it's on. So even in these moments when it's not quite there, they still have to be courageous with it.
5 of the last 6 points have been won off of service errors. That time it's going to be an ace for Arkansas. So there you go, starting to find some rhythm there, getting your second ace tonight.
I guess that answers our question, right? They continue to be aggressive, even when it's not working. That's their game plan. Serve tough.
Bear sends it over, stopped by Cartwright. Gillen to the back row. Near side, Ratliff blocked. The combined efforts of Pettis and Head get the job done. Arkansas within one.
And Ratliff hasn't really been able to get going all match long, and I think that has a lot to do with Arkansas being really keyed in on her. We talked to the coach beforehand, and he said that is one of the big stars on this Ole Miss team. Cannot let her get going.
Great save by Bareilles up front. Bear, was there a touch? No, and we're tied at 15.
Point, Arkansas.
And it seems like Bree Henry will use one of her challenges. Arkansas, a 9-3 run if this call stands. What's been the biggest adjustment you've seen from the Razorbacks, Key?
Well, apart from this little stumble in terms of serving on both sides, I think they're continuing to use different solutions. So we saw them swinging down into the block a couple of times. This is the challenge that we're looking at on Ole Miss's side. Is there a touch there? I think there might be.
A couple of angles. I think you look at the finger right there is where you could have seen a touch. has. Bree Henry has really picked her spots on these challenges. They've worked out so far tonight.
Yeah, she's been on it. Well, she's a former player herself, so she's used to looking for those moments to challenge the referees. Not challenging the point, challenging specifically the referees.
So rather a 15-all tie, 16-14 Rebels. Hogue sets up head, no. Second time going to Pettis, great stop by Neeson. Bump set to Dice from the attack line, great save by Jackson. Near side head. Point Arkansas, back within one.
And I think what defines this Arkansas team, even when things aren't going their way, they're still aggressive. They're still making those big swings or being smart with it. We haven't seen them take a whole lot of big blocks, except one or two from Burgach here and there.
Right on cue, Burgach with the kill. Payne Burgach, 6th kill of the night.
Burgach got that space. She loves to run that ball a little bit pushed from the setter, so it's not directly where the middle blocker on the other side is. The two blockers have to kind of combine and try and close the gap.
Pettis answering back for the Razorbacks, her 2nd kill. I think the biggest thing you see from Ole Miss, Key, is that there are 4 different players with 5 kills or more.
Yeah, Ole Miss using all of their tools. And I think that's what Arkansas now is trying to do. We've seen them get their middles going a little bit. That's something that they're going to have to tap into if they want to continue to be aggressive and be competitive here.
Dice, oh, what force on the kill. Julia Dice, you know, Coach Henry said that she didn't have a good game against Tennessee. Well, she's perked back up and 9 kills so far tonight.
She's been absolutely incredible for Ole Miss, and it's something they were missing, that you cannot have a team that only attacks from the middle. You have to have those pins going.
Gillen off the hand of the blockers. Joust, still alive. Dice, oh, what a save by the Razorbacks. Near side Washington, too strong. And Arkansas staying on pace, continuing to get within 1.
How about that save? Just getting underneath it, a couple of hands here and there. And Arkansas staying in that point with some grittiness in the defense.
Just that resiliency that you need. From the middle, Payne Burgach. Her tip swing, she's been effective in 7 kills.
There's something about Burgach I've noticed, that she loves that ball in front. She'll go across her body. The ball behind, she turns it back towards the line. So if the blockers are starting to pay attention to those routes and those tendencies, they might get a little bit more.
Dice, no, dug out by Jackson. Hogue to Gillen. Out.
Well, that's concerning for Arkansas. She's been Old Faithful, if you will, for Arkansas. So if Gillen starts making mistakes, it's questionable.
One way to answer back, Maggie Cartwright with the kill, her 5th. I mean, throughout the entire season, Jason Watson sticking with his core starters pretty much. There's a 19-player roster, but he has a core 7-8 players he sticks with to battle it out.
Yeah, and that's been working, and when it works, that's great. But if it doesn't work, if it stops working, maybe there are moments to switch it up, try some different pieces to the puzzle. But again, if he puts his confidence into players, he's sort of saying, hey, I'm riding with this group. Come hard, higher, what's that word? The expression, heck or high water.
I don't think I can say it officially, but that is going to be a service error. And it just seems like every time Arkansas gets close, they make a mistake here or there, or Ole Miss has found a way to keep out in front.
Yeah, and those errors, when they creep in, Ole Miss capitalizing on them.
21-19, Ole Miss in set 2. The serve by Middleton. On the far side, the block by Dice. He gets it done on both sides.
Things are rolling for Ole Miss. Dice, an offensive weapon, now defensive.
Razorbacks using their last time out of the set. Ole Miss 3 points away from taking set 2. Friday night, the men's basketball season continues as the Florida State Seminoles visit the Florida Gators in an early season non-conference clash. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Julia Dice has been on it offensively in set 1, and in set 2, she's been making some big plays, also on the defensive side, Key.
Yeah, she's been a little bit of everything, and what I like is how smart she's been. So she's right here in the block. She's just hanging up there a little higher. Then she's an out-of-system play. She's going deep through the hands. She's going off the hands on other occasions. But that's something that Coach Henry talked about trying to tap into. Her pin hitters finding ways to score. Guys also from the backcourt. She's been phenomenal in that area.
Now, if you're Arkansas, how do you battle back?
Arkansas is getting some pressure. They may not have been expecting this kind of pressure. And again, their scouting report would have said middles, middles, middles. Focus on Ratliff and Burgach. But now we're seeing other players step up at the opposite. Washington, also Dice there on the outside. So now they're going to have to adjust. They're going to have to look to different players on their own bench to maybe make a difference as well.
Well, Coach Watson mentioned that this Ole Miss team has improved tremendously from the last time they played them in mid-October. Mentioned that the center has been getting comfortable a bit, and their outsides have been playing a lot cleaner in these last couple of games, too. So Coach Watson kind of knew going into this game that the outsides could be an issue, but as you mentioned, Key, probably was making the main focus on the middle blockers. And Julia Dice being able to just power through 9 kills throughout this set. 22-19 out of the Arkansas timeout. Near side, Taylor Head gets one in.
Well, there's one response. But again, I would love to see more middle attacks out of Arkansas. Coach Watson said that's something they're trying to do, improve by a couple percentage points there, but we're not likely to see a whole lot of middle action.
Dice too strong on the attack. Arkansas within 1.
Point, Arkansas.
Razorbacks out of timeouts. Ole Miss has both of theirs. Jackson serving. Ratliff, still in play. Great job by Head. Head on the attacks. Dug out by Middleton. Dice swings. Great save. Cartwright ties it at 22.
Great defensive action on both sides. Both teams really scrappy, and neither one trying to be impatient. That's something as well that I like out of Ole Miss, and it worked out for Arkansas there as well. Patience.
Ole Miss will use their first timeout to talk things over. Tie at 22. Well, 22 wins, single season high for the Razorbacks under head coach Jason Watson. It's been a tremendous increase in progression throughout his time with the Razorbacks. But of course, Key, the main thing is trying to get a deep run in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, everything they do from here until the end of the season is in preparation for that tournament. And I'm also looking there, it says 3 of the 4 losses were to ranked opponents. So if they were to lose here to Ole Miss, they could drop drastically in the rankings.
I'll do you one better, Key. Out of 3 of those 4 losses to top-ranked opponents, 2 of them were back-to-back losses to number 1 ranked Wisconsin early in the year. That just shows that Arkansas was battle-tested early, knowing what it was going to take. If they want to go on a deep run, you got to face some of the toughest teams. I mean, look at Kentucky. They had a incredibly challenging non-conference schedule, and look what they've done in the SEC. Now they're only 1 loss in conference. If they can hold on, they're going to win the SEC for the 7th straight year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Having that kind of competition early can prove what you can do. You never want to play teams that you're just clearly better than, because you're not really going to learn. They're not going to test you, and they're not going to show you any of the chinks in your armor, as it were. But what I like about today, what's happening here, Ole Miss finding those spaces, those little moments to exploit something on Arkansas' side where they maybe haven't been exploited in the last few weeks in conference.
Arkansas has only lost the first 2 sets of a match twice this season. And and most recently was against Georgia, along with that matchup against Wisconsin early in the year as well. We'll see if Arkansas can fight their way through. They tied this match at 22, and will Ole Miss go up 2 sets to 9. Morales to Dice. Point Ole Miss.
And again, the style of attack that we're seeing out of Dice is something we haven't seen from her very much all season long. Is she's really going for high hand. She's working off the block and out. It's not just a straight cross-court down swing into the block.
Dice with 10 kills, her 7th game with double-digit kills this season. Gillen from the attack line. Great dig by Middleton. High set for Anna Baer. A collision, and it's set point Rebels.
Well, a great spot there for Baer, and that looked like a pretty high tip from where I am seating. And in fact, 2 players were on it, but you only need 1 to get the ball up, and unfortunately, too many.
Set point Ole Miss. Served by Julia Dice. Hogue on the far side, Cartwright. Arkansas still in it.
Clever, so clever and crafty, that tip. Cartwright read the fact that the defenders were really deep on Ole Miss side. And there's a big, wide open donut there.
Baer on the attack. Great save by Cartwright. Hogue, the pettis, the tip. Neeson, what a dig. Ratliff, no. 3 ball. Baer, got it. Ole Miss leading 2 sets to none. 25-23 to final in set 2. What a match we have inside the Gillen Center. What a run from the Ole Miss Rebels. Set 3 coming up after the break. Oxford so far for the Ole Miss Rebels. They took set 1, 25-21. Set 2, 25-23 over the 10th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. And get this, key. When Arkansas has lost the first 2 sets, they've been winless. And those were the 2 games against Georgia, the last time the Razorbacks lost a few weeks ago, and early in the season against Wisconsin, who was #1 back then.
Yeah, they've been so strong that no other team has been able to take those first 2 sets. But so this is a situation they haven't found themselves in. The question is, will we see some changes? Will we see the exact same starting lineup? Will we see some different strategies play out on the court? Ole Miss has found those weaknesses.
Look at this as well, Key. Ole Miss, last time they led 2-0. It was the last home game on November 1st against LSU, and the Tigers came back and won sets 3 and 4 before the Rebels could take set 5. So the question is, tonight for Bree Henry and company, can the Rebels close this out in set 3, or will it be another instance like it was against LSU? Well, the question may have been answered right there. First points for Ole Miss. Peyton Burgach is feeling it.
Yes, she is, and the blocking has been phenomenal for Ole Miss. Already 8 blocks leading up to that one. Arkansas hasn't even had more than 2.
Get this as well. Ole Miss still hitting on a high clip overall in the match, 329. Arkansas was hitting at 213, 2 sets in. And it's been the Rebel Roofing Company, at least one half of the Rebel Roofing Company in Burgach, leading the way along with Neil Washington. They have a combined 13 of the last 17 kills. Arkansas gets on the board.
And Arkansas, the exact same starting lineup that we've seen the first couple of sets. So Coach Watson putting his faith in those same 6-7 players.
Served by Courtney Jackson. Bump step by Neeson. Washington runs in, and it's right on cue. It was Burgach with the block first, and Washington getting her 7th kill.
Well, the question for me was going to be, does Ole Miss now kind of sit back, think they've won the match? But the answer was right there. A big, heavy arm from Washington says, nope, we're here to play.
However, Key, we talked about it. You have this momentum. You can't have a service error.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks all the air out of the room when the ball goes straight into the middle of the net. I don't mind the ones that go long, maybe a little bit outside the lines, left or right, but in the middle of the net, nope, no go.
And now back and forth. It was a 6th service error for Ole Miss, and now the 5th service error from Arkansas.
And that's another thing Arkansas really hasn't got a handle on. They're uncharacteristically making a lot of service errors and not making the aces to go along with it.
Low reception and a block. Sasha Ratliff.
Ratliff and Washington looking really good. And again, that started with a serve on Ole Miss's side that kind of put the pressure there and got them in a good situation to block.
10 blocks for the Rebels tonight, but another service error right after a big play.
Taylor Head serving.
Taylor Head on the serve. Ratliff runs in, stopped up front by Pettis. Far side, Gillen, great dig by Neeson. Dice, no. Ratliff, oh, great save by Cartwright. Gillen swings, point point Ole Miss. Oh, now they say point Razorbacks. There was a touch.
I love that defensive play. Neeson starting it off, but both teams kind of getting a little fired up here in the third.
Washington, no, dug out by Hannah Hogue. Gillen couldn't get it over the tape. Point Ole Miss. What needs to change here from Arkansas? Having a lot of struggles here in this match.
Well, I'd still like to see a little more middle action, but again, now they're kind of having a bit of stress, I'd say. Things are not going their way, so now is the time they have to get creative, but without putting too much stress on themselves. Find different ways to score. Don't rely on things that aren't working. There we go.
A misdirection play by Hannah Hogue. Sometimes you got to just throw that out there just to get a point on the board.
And that's exactly it. So she's been feeding up a few of her different attackers, but she has a big space there. She sees Dice moving that one step over, so that's the creative play I'm talking about. Find moments to get involved in the game if you're not necessarily one of the go-to attackers.
Point Rebels. Another back and forth start here in set 3.
Now Lawson with that error. She actually had an ace to clinch the second set victory over Ole Miss when they met last time, but there's another example of how things are just not going their way.
Dice on the serve. Hogue to Zoe Evans. Dug out by Middleton. Anna Bayer back in on the swing. Far side, Gillen. Point Arkansas.
So big swing there by Zoe in the middle. She was dug, but again, it's going to start making Ole Miss focus on different things than just the same attackers. Gillen on the outside, Cartwright behind.
Served by Hogue. Ratliff. So smooth on that attack. And one thing that Coach Henry loves about Ratliff is that slide she's able to apply too.
Yeah, she's off the net a little bit, so it's not a perfect connection, but she's making something of it. And that's what you got to do in that middle position. Be up, be early, be available, and just do the best when the ball comes your way.
Gillen doing the best she can. Ties it up at 7. Our 6th tie of the set already.
So Arkansas still trying to go to her. That ball dying a little inside, so at least that's a little something different. That's not a full wide attack to the pins with a heavy block setup. It's a little faster, quicker, and inside.
Received by Middleton. From the attack line, Dice, kept in play by Jackson. Gillen swings from the attack line. Middleton the dig. Bayer. Out.
Well left by the Razorbacks. I like them using Gillen in the backcourt as well. Kind of faster. They're adding a little bit more speed to her offense, and I think that's going to be crucial.
Arkansas taking the lead, 8-7. Can they go on a run? Morales to Bayer. Over the net. Hogue the Cartwright. Bump set by Neeson. Bear the swing. Gillen in the back with the dig. Head. Oh, nice up, but out. Arkansas.
Well, they're collecting a few points off of errors that Ole Miss haven't been making. In that second set, they were pretty clean in terms of their volleyball, maybe a little bit in the serve, but we didn't see quite as many errors in the attack that we're seeing now on Ole Miss side.
It is a little bit uncharacteristic from the Razorback side. 15 attacking errors to the Rebels 10. Bareilles to Bear, dinged enough. Now you're starting to see that momentum from the Razorbacks, and Bree Henry gonna call a timeout early. 10-7, Arkansas trying to mount the comeback, a 4-0 run here in set 3 on the SEC Network. Jackson setting up Cartwright, point Razor, oh! Out! Point Rebels.
The error count that we saw earlier, I think it was at 15 for Arkansas. That is not what they're used to doing. They're normally finding ways to score, but they're just trying too much, I think.
Head. Great save by Neeson. Bear sends over a free ball. Head that time on the attack, far side, no. Neil Washington, the poke, kept alive by Zoe Evans. Here's Gillen on the swing. Bump set to Bear. Evans, oh, great up by Dice. Washington on the attack, denied. What a rally. Hogue near side, the Cartwright. Point, Arkansas.
Man, a lot of good things happening there on both sides. Ole Miss playing a lot of good defense, having to send that ball back a couple of times, and finally that swing going off the hands and out. But Ole Miss are picking up a lot of tips. I'm talking about what can Arkansas do differently in the attack, but Ole Miss are really on everything.
Bear getting it enough. Arkansas starting to push through, extend their lead. For Ole Miss, 4 kills, but 3 attacking errors so far in the set. And a service error by the Razorbacks. Number 6.
Yeah, those serves, we keep going back to that. They are the best serving team in the SEC, and we have not seen that today. That, for me, is the one thing that's been really clearly missing on Arkansas' side.
Correction, 7 attacking errors, 7 on each side. Pettis, no. Bareilles to Washington. Hogue there, got there for the dig. Cartwright, got it.
Great touch off the block. She was looking specifically for Dice there down the line. Catches her on the back of the hand.
We know Coach Watson sticks with his core crew. Gillen, Cartwright, and Head, the 3-headed monster for Arkansas attacking. Dice couldn't get that one past Cartwright. Taylor Head, too strong on the attack.
Head at 9 kills so far. Can't find that one. Looking for the touch, but the Rebels just let it go long.
Served by Bergach. Hogue setting up Head. The block up front by Ratliff. Head will try a second time. Stopped in the back by Maggie Miller. And a misdirection play by Allie Bareilles. Coach Bree Henry's had to go back and forth between her setters and Allie Bareilles and Summer Daniel. But the sophomore Bareilles getting the job done.
And that's exactly what we talked about on Arkansas' side, using that creativity. But when you're not expecting it, it is such a lethal attack. She goes up with 2 hands, shows as if she's going to set one way or another, and just a really soft touch over the net. Arkansas has struggled to pick up those soft touches tonight.
Joust, won by the Razorbacks.
Well, that's something you learn early on. Gotta know where your setter is if you're gonna attack. The setter is always gonna jump and joust with you if she's front court. If she's back court, you can attack that. But if she's front court, you've gotta joust.
Barella setting up Julia Dice. Good defense up front from Arkansas. Dice will try again and connects. Rebels within one.
Great recovery from Dice after being stuffed by the setter. I like her using that down the line. Again, we talked about Bree Henry telling us how she wants her team to access that line, and they're really working hard to do it.
Middleton serving. Service error. How many times have we seen this already, Key, where the Rebels make a big offensive play and then it turns out a service error right after?
Yeah, it's so tough because, again, they want to be aggressive. They can't just pop a lollipop serve into Arkansas. It'll come straight back down their throats. But again, yeah, gotta force them to play.
Ratliff blocked. Still in play. Dice. No, good job by Taylor Head. Gillen got it through. Jill Gillen, 14 kills tonight.
Gillen looked like she kind of adjusted that time. She's been picked up down the line a couple of times, and you can see there, number 8 jersey moving to the right. That's that adjustment they wanted to make specifically on Gillen to try and get her down the line, but now she sees it. She's going back to the middle.
One dig away from a double-double. Dice. Oh, great save. Popped up by Lawson. Hogan for great up. Gillen. No, dug out by Middleton. Ratliff. Can't get that one through. Head. Got it. And it's been the combined efforts of Gillen, Cartwright, and Head with 34 of the team's 39 kills. Timeout, Ole Miss. They're going to talk things over. Saturday, we have a big slate for SEC football on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus. We have 3 games at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Abilene Christian and Texas A&M, Southern Miss at Mississippi State, and Chattanooga at number 8 Alabama. Meanwhile, on the SEC Network, number 13 Ole Miss hosts Louisiana Monroe at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Auburn hosts New Mexico State at 4 p.m. Eastern, and Kentucky versus South Carolina caps tonight. Catch all the action on the SEC Network and the app. Jill Gillen has been leading the way offensively for the Razorbacks. 14 kills on the night, 9 digs. She's the reason why Arkansas is staying up here in set 3, Key.
And I like that she's only had 5 attacking errors. She's had 34 attempts, so that's a lot of ball to go your way. And to keep those errors low while making those kills when needed, that's a really important part of Gillen's role on this Arkansas side. She's been playing it really well. Again, a couple of ups and downs throughout, but she's the go-to. She has been all season long, and she's been finding it again.
Gillen with 14 kills, Maggie Cartwright with 10 kills, Taylor Head with 10 kills, 11 digs, her 55th career double-double. It's going to be those 3 players for the Razorbacks. They want to keep this match going. What's it going to take for Ole Miss to fight their way back through here, Key?
Well, they've done really well at finding off-speed shots, so putting the ball on the floor, tips, rolls. They've also been picking up when Arkansas has tried to do that to them. And I think if they just stay steady and continue that good reception that they've had all match long, they should be all right in this set.
Ole Miss out of timeouts. Served by Lawson. Near side Dice. Point Rebels. There with the touch.
Good swing again by Dice, and it all comes back to that first contact. So that ball went right on the head of the setter, and we talked about how important it is for it to look like the ball's going anywhere. The middles have to have options. The setter has to be able to run wherever she wants, and there she chooses Dice. It's a correct choice, but the blockers of Arkansas are kind of all over the place there.
Ole Miss trying to find that level of production and hit percentage like they found in sets 1 and 2. Set 3, though, hitting a 138. Gillen. Out. Rebels within 2, the serve by Dice. Misdirection, that time Neeson was ready for it. Bear the attack, dug out by Head. Gillen, far side, point Arkansas.
Point Arkansas.
Arkansas doing well there, again on the pin, using that hand off the setter in front of her. Kind of a mismatch in the height there.
Talk about players that's seen a lot of action in their volleyball careers. Gillen, now her 42nd career 10-plus kill match. Overpass, and it's sent straight down by Bear.
And there's the moment to swing. So Bear's looking, and you see the setter, Hannah Hogue, in the back court. She's made the dig, so there's not going to be a defender up at the net in front of Bear. So that's the correct choice on when to use that swing.
Served by Neeson. Far side Gillen. Nice up. Bear. Still in play. Bump set from Head. Cartwright denied. And it's Bear and Bergach. 1-point set.
They're doing damage at the net and really well disciplined. Perfect timing. Just straight up and down hands. Almost reaching through the net. I saw them working on that training this morning, that low tight block with the elastic above the net. It's working.
Gillen, they've been late on the jump. Running in, Dice ties it up at 19. 7th tie of the set. Ole Miss has fought their way back through set 3. Timeout Razorbacks.
Arkansas. Reverse.
What a night it's been inside the Gillum Center. Well, every Saturday, Marty and McGee and SEC Nation bring you extensive SEC game previews, the latest news from around the conference that you won't find anywhere else. This week, the guys will be in Knoxville for Tennessee and Georgia at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, followed by a 2-hour SEC Nation that takes you right to kickoff. Both are right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. How about Anna Bear? She entered this game already, Key. Top 5 in kills all time in Ole Miss history. And tonight, trying to be involved up front for the Rebels. She had 8 kills tonight, and by the end of the season, a couple of games left, and a chance that Bear could be up to number 4 when her season's over.
Yeah, she's had a fantastic career so far and looking really good to write her name in the record book. I think she's been one of the go-to players for the Rebels. Excellent play from her tonight as well.
I mean, you gotta think, Emily Stroop, who's the all-time kills leader, graduating in 2019, and you gotta think Anna Bear saw that record be broken her freshman year, and now top 5 first and foremost, has a chance to get up to as high as number 4. And really trying to help the Rebels here. What's going to be the message here if you're Coach Bree Henry to your team, trying to mount a comeback and win this match in 3 sets?
It's got to be focused on 1 point at the time. She talked about how she didn't even notice that the last couple of home games are coming up. She didn't even know if her seniors had any feelings about it because they've been focusing on 1 game at a time, one thing at a time. And the same thing is true tonight. 1 point at a time. 6 more needed for 1 set.
Play resumes. Hogue to Gillen. Great save by Bear. Bareilles, no. Near side punch. Point Razorbacks, they retake the lead.
Well, that was a close one. That ball really tight to the net. Advantage for the blockers, and you almost thought it was going to be a stuff straight back down. Cartwright did well to use the fingertips there.
11 kills now for the super senior Maggie Cartwright. Gillen the serve. Bareilles to Bergach. What a dig. Bergach again too wide. Arkansas, a 2-point lead.
Well, break points are crucial here down the final stretch. And Arkansas need a few more of them.
Ole Miss out of timeouts. Arkansas 1 remaining. Gillen serves again. Bump set Bergach to Bear. Bump set by Jackson. Head swings. Stop in the back by Dice. Bear the attack. out. Seems like attacking errors have been the struggle here for the Rebels.
Yeah, and I know they're really working on that line shot, which is what's so frustrating, I think, for the players. They could just swing cross, but that's where the block is. So they're targeting that really small area between the blocker's hands and the antenna.
Bump set, Bear at the tip. Still in play by Head. Over the Cartwright. Got it through. Arkansas a 4-point lead. They've never led this set more than 5 points. They need 2 to take set 3.
And that's an uncharacteristic ball falling in the center of court for Ole Miss. They've been doing so well at picking up those scrappy out-of-system plays.
Burgach answering back for the Rebels.
I love her swing. It is so fast. She's just kind of up in the air, and it's almost as if she starts to swing before the ball is even set to her. She's just that quick that as soon as the ball leaves the hands of the setter, she's on it.
Served by Bareilles. Far side. Taylor Head gets it through. Set point, Arkansas.
Things looking a little more smooth, and again, they found that way down that middle back zone. So the adjustment that Ole Miss made, picking up more line balls on the pin hitters, now they've adjusted back.
Service error, though, from Courtney Jackson. Ole Miss still alive. Maggie Miller serving. Near side Cartwright. Bump set from Neeson. Dice to swing. On the far side, Head. 2. That is in. And Arkansas still alive. They take set 3, 25-21. On to the 4th set we go after the break on the SEC Network. Down but not out. They're still alive after winning set 3, 25-21 on the SEC Network. These sets, Key, have been so close back and forth. Look at the number of ties that we've had throughout this match so far.
Yeah, set number 1 in particular was really, really tight. It looked like it could go either way. If you remember, Ole Miss had that early lead, got a chunk of points off of their aggressive play, and a few too many errors on Arkansas's side. Was back and forth. Set 2 was much more one-sided, and same with set 3, but I wonder who's going to come out hotter in the 4th.
Well, it's all about who can go on a run and keep that momentum going, and Ole Miss was in this predicament on November 1st when they were up 2 sets to none on LSU. They lost sets 3 and 4, but bounced back in set 5. Now keep in mind here as well, Key, in sets 1 and 2, the Rebels hit above 400, but in set 3, they hit 238. That's one thing to look out for. That was why the Rebels were so successful in sets 1 and 2. As an ace, gets Arkansas on the board to start set 4.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They haven't been accessing as much on the pins as they had done in set 1 and 2. And they were opening that up with the middle attack, so a lot more success there in different areas. Much more slowed down in that 3rd set by Arkansas, finding their rhythm.
Bareilles to Burgach, couldn't get that one over the net. Good defensive job by Evans up front.
Well, that's a bad sign for Ole Miss. They need to get Burgach firing, and that connection's been working really well, pretty smooth all match long. So if that starts being error prone as well, then there might be some questions asked.
Washington gets Ole Miss on the board. Via Washington, 8 kills tonight.
Washington was a great addition in the first couple of sets. She was really balancing things out. We started to see Dice kind of find her rhythm. The middles are always going, but you need that 3rd piece as well, and on the right side.
Cartwright, oh, great up by Bareilles. Washington near side blocked, and it's Zoe Evans getting the job done.
Great block by Evans, but I have questions. That ball taking a couple of seconds to travel all the way to the other side. Normally, there's got to be someone covering that on Ole Miss side.
Gillen on the serve. Morales to Dice. Still in play. Great save by Jackson. Near side, Neil Washington. Gillen was there. Cartwright. Got it. Found the spot in the back row.
Well, a great start for Arkansas. Tapping into their strengths there. That ball looked like it went perhaps a little long, but it's called touch at the net.
From the middle, Burgach is blocked. So you're correct, Key, with a touch at the net. And a 5-1 start for Arkansas. Ole Miss going to call a timeout. Arkansas finding new life in set 4 on the SEC network. Arkansas in set 4, down 2-1 against Ole Miss. After sets 1 and 2 were dominated by the Rebels, hitting above 400. But Jason Watson getting his Razorbacks crew in order. Starting from set 3, they took the third set 25-21, trying to keep that momentum in the set 4. And so far, Key, it's been a 3-hitter attack that's been the biggest difference.
Yeah, those 3 hitters on Arkansas' side were much more productive in the third set. And it had a lot to do with the blocks as well. We've seen 11 blocks on Ole Miss side, only 1 in that third set. So they were not slowing down those 3 attackers quite as well as they had done.
Washington on the near side. Evans too far. Point Rebels. And just a comparison, the Razorbacks have 45 kills overall tonight. 40 of them have been between Jill Gillen, Maggie Cartwright, and Taylor Head.
Yep, that's the formula on this Arkansas side.
Tip by Cartwright. Nice save by Burgach. Cartwright blocked.
That is a huge block for Ole Miss, and exactly the point I was trying to make. They were making a statement in the first couple of sets with big stuffs like this, and we didn't see that many in that third set. So now, if Ole Miss can tap into that again and keep their serve in play, they should be looking good.
I feel like a broken record a little bit. I mean, we've talked about it a lot tonight. You make a big play, you can't have a service here. That's a knife. Morales to Dice. Out.
Point, Razorbacks.
Well, Dice trying to thread the needle down that line again, just wide on it. But again, that's been working for her, so she's going to keep trying to access that.
Dice again. That time connects, not a touch off the Razorbacks. Julia Dice with 15 kills.
And it's just a subtle difference between getting the ball out of bounds with no touch and bringing it in just that little bit. It's almost the same swing, but just that ball's coming inside a little bit off the set.
Middleton the serve for the Rebels. Far side, Cartwright on the cross shot, too wide.
Yeah, Ole Miss will take that error all day long. Reminiscent of set number 1. Errors creeping in on Arkansas' side.
From the middle, we haven't seen much of Sanaya Pettis, but have really gelled in with this Arkansas crew throughout the season. A transfer from Mississippi State.
Yeah, and normally we see her on the slide. That was one thing that Coach talked about, is that he can now use a 5-1 because he's got that slide running behind, but she hasn't been accessing it very much today.
5th ace for the Razorbacks.
That's the serve that they are known for, that dropper.
Off the tape. From the middle, Ratliff couldn't get it over. Point Arkansas. And with the Razorbacks leading the SEC in aces, you got to rely on your serving here.
Yeah, and they certainly have done, and that's why I don't think that was too much of a problem when you're seeing the service aces on Arkansas's, or errors on Arkansas's side, because they are just continuing to be aggressive, and it pays off long term.
Dice, was there a touch? Yes, it was. Point Rebels.
Good work by the Rebels there to keep that ball off the floor. That first touch allows the setter to play her offense. Continues getting Dice involved on the outside.
Dice has been extremely involved in the last 6 matches, averaging at least 12 kills. But service error.
Again.
It's number 10. And an ace. Do you feel like Ole Miss starting to run out of gas here late in the match?
A little bit. Maybe the focus is missing just that little bit. I mean, we've seen those service errors throughout the match, but now Arkansas is getting those aces in version of the errors.
Well, tomorrow night, the women's basketball season continues with the Clemson Tigers taking on the top-ranked South Carolina Gamecocks at Colonial Life Arena. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. So there you see the Racerback, I don't know how to say that, our Acerbacks. That just shows you right there why the Razorbacks lead the SEC in aces, but it's been a bit different tonight, Key. 6 aces, but 8 service errors.
Yeah, 4 players in the top ranked in the SEC in terms of aces. So that's what we were looking at when we were going into this match. That's what we were thinking was going to be one of the big go-tos, one of the strengths of this Arkansas side, what gets them into good situations. But we just haven't seen that now here in the 4th set. That's starting to pick up a little bit. So I wonder if going forward, and we talked about letting those errors play out, continuing to be aggressive, that's what Coach Watson's been relying on.
Hannah Hogue, who's second individually in aces per set, she has 2 here tonight. Now, if you're Ole Miss, we kind of mentioned before the break, or before the timeout, if Ole Miss was running out of gas a bit. So if you're Coach Bree Henry, you use both your timeouts already early in this 4th set. How do you get your team back in rhythm?
Make sure they have some snacks on the bench. Make sure there's some nuts, plenty of Gatorade, anything that you can get to the players to make sure that they are staying focused, because it is a long match. It is a long stretch of volleyball to go from set number 1, point number 1, all the way to a 4th or 5th set. So I'd say, yeah, just keep the head in the game, point for point.
And a Bear blocked. Arkansas with the biggest lead of the night. They lead by 7.
Arkansas trying to get their blocks involved. We talk all about the Revel Roofing Company, but if Arkansas can kind of add that level to their game, they've got 6 so far. They're catching up.
Almost another ace. Near side, Gillen got it through, but Neeson on the bump set to Bear. The tip, great save by Hogue. From the attack line head, no. Far side, Bear. No luck on the attack from Taylor Head. Here's Dice. Back set, Pettis. Oh, running in Neeson, but out. Boy, Razorbacks, what a rally.
Huge rally. Both teams are really, I mean, they are in every single point. And again, the focus has to be there on exactly that, those little things. So Neeson just barely missing that dig, but she's on it.
Rebel, out of system. Free ball sent over for Arkansas. On the near side, Gillen. Oh, nice pancake attempt. But point, Razorbacks. A 5-0 run now for Arkansas.
And another ball that in set number 1 probably would have been up. That's a great slowdown by the blockers. They've done their job. They've gotten that ball to come soft off the hands, and it doesn't come up.
Borellis to Bear. Saved by Jackson. Hogue near side. Gillen blocked by Ratliff. Oh, great save by Taylor Head. 3 ball. Ratliff, too strong. Point Arkansas. And you got to wonder, Key, what the message was from Coach Jason Watson during the set break.
Well, the message was get the ball off the floor, exactly like that from Head. And I think he has to be telling his team, hey, we are better than this. We can play better than this. We know what we can do. That's not a great example of it as another serve goes into the net. But he's just trusting his team to kind of tap into what they've done all season long, whether it's taking a little bit longer to get there. And we're in the 4th set now, but this is the scoreline they were expecting from set 1.
Oh, the Pettis. Dug out by Middleton. Burgach. Still in. Oh, what a save by Arkansas. Burgach again. Over the net. Bareilles to Dice. Still in play. Great up by Jackson. Gillen sends a free ball over. Far side, Bayer. Hoyer Rebels.
Well, I'm liking that scrappiness out of Arkansas. It hasn't been easy. This has not been an easy match for them, but now that they're starting to find some rhythm, it has a lot to do with that, keeping the ball off the floor, going again and again. Ole Miss just doing really well to access that line shot again.
Pettis, no. Couldn't get it over the tape. Both teams now, overall in the match, are hitting below 200 key.
Yeah, it's not the best performance in attack for either these two teams.
I mean, it's games like this when you have low attacking numbers as Pettis, too wide on the attack. It's when you just got to go to straight effort now by your key players leading the way through.
Well, I like that set as well by Hogue. I like that she repeats sets. That's something to look out for. Every setter has their own style of who they're going to go to in hot moments. 2 balls to the same player, 2 errors, but I like that she's still trusting.
Jill Gillen, 17 kills. And remember, when Ole Miss hits below 200, they are winless, 0-12 on the season. 7-point lead for Arkansas, trying to send this match to a decisive 5th set. Burgach. And with that, Peyton Burgach has her 600th kill in her career.
Kill number 600, and it's a great one. Again, that little push into the zone. She's able to go over her shoulder, and that is a beautiful way to get it done for Peyton Burgach.
She still has an extra year of eligibility left. Evans entering back for Arkansas. Zoe Evans, this is her 2nd kill tonight.
Yeah, again, Evans hasn't been huge in the offense. That's somebody that Watson would like to see get going a little bit more. The question is, how does the setter feed the middles more?
Nia Washington, Point Rebels.
Well, we talked a lot about Julia Dice, and she's been fantastic, but Washington, again, really taking the pressure off of Dice and the middles in that right side.
Remember, Arkansas also had challenges. They used all of them early in the first 2 sets, but they may not need it as Gillen records kill number 18.
Goes high, goes hard through the blockers. There's just a little bit of space there, which isn't often the case with this Ole Miss blocking side, but she goes after it.
Served by Gillen, and that's an ace. Sneaks one through, and Gillen with 2 aces. 7 aces overall for the Razorbacks. And Aubrey Henry can do his watch. No more timeouts for the Rebels in set 4.
This is probably starting to feel a little bit like deja vu from the first time they met. Once this serve gets going on Arkansas's side, that was one of the biggest weaknesses for Ole Miss last time around. They got 10 aces on the floor of Ole Miss side. And
a lot of service errors here in this match, 10 on each side.
that does feel like a lot.
Taylor Head gets her 13th kill.
Again, still just between those 3 players doing all the offensive damage.
Served by Jackson. Bump set by Neeson. Dice to swing. Oh, great. Up by Hannah Hogue. Overpass to Pettis. Went for like a joust, though. Cartwright. Got a touch.
Great defense started off there by Hogue. And that's what we talked about in the opener as well, is that these are multi-dimensional players. So Hogue, one of the better acers as well, and diggers, is that a word, in the SEC. So not a lot of gaps. Yeah.
Head denied by Ratliff. Looking like her father, Theo, out there with a block. Working alongside Washington.
Beautiful penetration, that low and tight finish, just no space at all between her arms and the net, and that's exactly what you want when you go up for a block.
13 blocks in this match for the Rebel Roofing Company. Near side head, stopped by Middleton. Dice had to readjust. Hogue goes to head, Neeson's there on the dig, overpass, blocked, but out. Point Arkansas.
Beautiful push by Hogue. You saw her kind of floating backwards and having to use all her body strength to get that ball to the outside pin. A little bit low, but it still works out well.
Ole Miss, 8 attack errors in this set alone. They had 14 in the first 3. Dice. Ho-ho. The defense has stepped up. Set point Arkansas. Cartwright, service error.
And again, the error right after that huge block from the 5'8" Hannah Hogue. And then the wind just kind of falls right out of it. Luckily, Arkansas have this huge lead to fall back on.
Seems like Arkansas is knocking the wind out of Ole Miss's sails since the set break. Near side head, and we're going to a decisive 5th set. Arkansas takes set 4, 25-15. To the 5th set we go inside Gillum. After the break, what a match we have on the SEC Network. Arkansas took the last 2, and we're going to set 5 inside the Gillum Center on the SEC Network. Danny Wall and Key Michael on hand. Ole Miss, a similar situation back in the first of the month against LSU. They won the first 2 sets, lost sets 3 and 4, but won set 5 for Arkansas. 2-2 on the year in 5 sets, and the last one was against Kentucky.
Not a bad 5-setter to win. Yeah, these 2 teams, I see the look on Bray Henry's face right now because I feel as though she felt the opportunity. In those first couple of sets, it was really a one-sided match. We saw a lot of errors on Arkansas' side. They weren't serving well. Her team was hitting at a huge percentage. Now they've gone down into the negative hitting percentage in that last set. So was that the opportunity to close it out? Are things different? Has the momentum shifted back to Arkansas' side? It looks like it.
Well, offensively for the Rebels, the hit percentage has decreased from their impressive set 1. In set 4, the Rebels hit in the negatives. How will this play out in set 5 as we're underway? Here's Neil Washington to tip, and Ole Miss takes the first point.
Those tips were falling all match long, especially in the first couple of sets for Ole Miss. It looked like Arkansas kind of got their head around it, wrapped themselves around it, but that was working really well. So if they tap into that again, Arkansas might be in trouble.
As you see, set 5 just to 15 points for Neil Washington. It's her 5th double-digit kill match on the year, now with 10. Maggie Miller to serve. From the middle, blocked. And the Rebel Roofing Company stepping up. Peyton Bergant's block number 5.
That is a big sign for the Rebels as well. Low, tight, well closed, but again, that was something missing in set number 3 and 4. Only one block between those two sets.
Near side Gillen, dug out by Neeson. Dice, no. Oh, the set to Gillen, got it through. And Arkansas on the board, Gillen, 20th kill of the night.
Gillen again, the go-to over and over. She's had 45 total attack attempts. Continues to get way more options than anyone else.
Served by Gillen. Overpass and right to Taylor Head. One thing to point out as well, Key, in set 5, Arkansas gets the challenge back as well.
Yeah, it could be important, could be crucial for a net touch, for a ball in and out. This one, no need on it because that's perfectly cleanly attacked. That overpass just as good as an ace.
Speaking of aces, there's one for Arkansas. And after giving up the first 2 points, a 3-0 run.
Arkansas looking to get that groove going again from the end line. 8 aces now they have on the match.
Gillen getting her third. Also, it's her 4th 20-kill match of the season. Oh, great dig. Head to the back row. Dice to swing. Point Rebels.
Dice, the big portion of the offense for Ole Miss has come through her, and she's been delivering over and over again. There's her hitting percentage, but 16 kills. That's a big number. We're normally seeing the middles doing most of the action in the offense for Ole Miss.
Swing by Head, dug out by Bogach in the back. Far side Dice is denied.
Big block, Arkansas. That's not their strength. But Arkansas with the big right side. Cartwright, 5'11" there, just low and tight. Things going on the right side.
A block. Service here. Number 12. Counted up at 4. Serving, excuse me. Maybe the big focus in practice going on this week for both sides.
Yeah, you're pretty much right there. I think both coaches are going to look at these stats and say those could have at least been in, could have at least forced the other team to do something.
The tip by Head. Got it. Arkansas 5-4 lead.
Great shot by Head, but I sense a little bit of hesitation on Ole Miss's side there in the defense. 2 players were just a step away, and the first couple of sets, that ball would have been up. Now they're questioning it.
Morellis to Dice. Got it off the hands. Tied it at 5. Already 4 ties in this 5th set.
Well, that's exactly how Ole Miss won it. They cannot allow Arkansas to get a couple of points, get that chunk that they got in the 3rd and 4th set, which makes it really tough to come back from, even more so in the 5th.
There's a set to Head, and with authority, Taylor Head, her 17th kill. You gotta have those forceful attacks to make a statement.
Yeah, she's now working on her own version of that line. Accessing the line, what Ole Miss has been working on, working for Arkansas too.
They go to Dice again. Julia Dice has been the impact player. Kill number 19.
No surprise there, and I'm wondering where all the blockers are going. It is a wide open net for Julia Dice, and we've said time and time again, she's the top scorer right now. Most kills for her team. Why is there an open net in front of her?
Why is there a service there after every big play, Kid?
We have questions here in the booth, Ole Miss. We have questions, actually, for both sides.
One thing that Bree Henry cannot be pleased about. It's been the real difference maker in this match overall, Kate.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arkansas's making similar number of errors, but they've got the aces to back it up. They have 8. Ole Miss, they have only 2. They've got to get those balls in.
Bump set to Dice from the attack line, dug out by Hannah Hogue. Near side, Gillen pins it through the blockers. And Arkansas an 8-6 lead as both teams switch sides. We'll resume play after the break on the SEC Network.
Just doing what they've been doing so far for Arkansas. That's tough serving that came up clutch in the fourth. And for Ole Miss, it's tapping back into their aggressive attacking, finding that through the pins, working that hitting percentage has gone straight down. It's kind of plummeted in the last 4 sets. They got to get that back up.
Jenna Lawson back to serve for the Razorbacks. 8-6 lead for Arkansas. Burgach blocked. Point Razorbacks.
Coach Watson mentioned to us before the match that blocking is not one of their strengths. So if they can add that as one of their strengths, just in this 5th set alone, it's going to be crucial.
And who else but Zoe Evans leading the charge as well. Joust, and it's won by Arkansas.
Great block by Gillen. She's in a perfect position there.
Timeout Rebels. Taylor Head has really stepped up. The senior, a double-double, 17 kills in 16 digs. Really complimenting the play of Jill Gillen and Maggie Cartwright.
Yeah, you talked about it. It's the 1-2-3 punch on the Arkansas side. And she's been crucial in those outlet positions. And you see her, she's getting that wide ball. They added a little bit more speed, it looks like. But again, kind of running all over. I love that one-handed set as well by Hogue. That's why she's 5-time setter of the SEC. But Head has been aggressive in all areas. Really putting some pressure on Ole Miss in different varieties. That ball down the line. And again, Ole Miss adjusting to some things, but then the readjustment happening on Arkansas' side. So the response that we talked about earlier.
This is where senior leadership really steps up. And we talked about Gillen, Head, and Cartwright. All 3 of them are seniors. Gillen and Cartwright, super seniors for this Arkansas program. When you look at the roster breakdown, 3 graduates mentioned in Gillen along with Cartwright. I mean, that's just the leadership right there. And that just tells you all you know in set 5 and who's going to pull through.
And interestingly, the coach said there aren't really captains in the traditional sense. It's more based on situation. There's a lot of intangibles when it comes to leadership. And for him, another player that steps up often is Courtney Jackson. She really steers the ship. People lean on her. But all these players love playing together. He said they play with a lot of joy. And that's really showing here in the 5th set.
6-6. Since the 6-6 tie, Arkansas on a 4-0 run. Can they continue it out of the Ole Miss timeout? Razorbacks need 5 more to take the match, to serve by Lawson. Need I even say it, Keith? Service error.
Yeah, the ones in the net really, really sting. But the thing is, we talked to Coach as well about being brave. He said one of his favorite quotes is from the Redeem team, "We're not going to be perfect. That's okay. We just have to be brave." And that comes to those service errors as well.
Hogue to Evans. Out.
I just wonder how calm the Australian's going to be at the helm. He said, yeah, we like to talk about everything's going to be okay. We're channeling our Bob Marley, our Ted Lasso, but is everything going to be okay if they don't win this?
Well, Gillen's kill will say otherwise. Point Razorbacks. That's number 23 on the night. I just want to see him crack a smile if Arkansas pulls through.
Focused.
Haven't seen him smile all game.
Calm and focused, as Australians often are.
Locked in. Hogue to serve. Washington to Joust. To Gillen. Point Arkansas.
Great shot from Gillen. And again, watch the movement of the defense on Ole Miss. They're having to chase that ball often, whether it goes line or zone 6. They're really playing catch up every time, back and forth between those 2 zones.
Ole Miss using their final timeout of the set. I mean, this has been an incredible season for Arkansas this year. It's been every week in the top 25. First time since 1999. That just shows you how special this season has been for Jason Watson and company.
Yeah, they have been incredible, and it really comes down, I have to say, to being able to respond to moments like this. It's not going to be perfect, and when you're a strong team, when you work day in and day out on your weaknesses, you have to expect other teams to come and give you everything they're going to give you. But to be ranked in the top 25 every week of this year, of this season, that's an incredible feat, and I think they're proving in this 5th set why they're there.
And a night like tonight, you can rely on your senior leader, Jill Gillen. 24 kills, a season high for her this season. And all Arkansas needs is 3 points. Ole Miss down by 4. What's the message for Bree Henry?
Focus on that first contact. The serving has stepped up on Arkansas' side, and that was something they struggled with in the last time these two teams met. So if they can just continue to put that ball in a good position where their setter can run their middle, run their pins, add some speed, add some width, then they should be in a good spot.
Served by Hogue. Bump set to Washington. Great save by Jackson. Gillen. Good save by Bear. And on the attack, near side, Cartwright.
And there's a perfect example of it. That first ball that Ole Miss touched was way out of system, so they had to bump it high to the outside, and there's not really much you can do to put that aggressive on the other side, so it became a simple situation for Arkansas.
Bareilles to Bear. Still alive. Gillen. Off the hands, dug out by Washington. Burgach, a great up. Near side, Cartwright. Washington to tip. Jackson to Gillen. What a rally. Joust. Washington. And there was more than 3 touches. Set point, match point, Razorbacks.
I love that we've been questioning all match long if Coach Watson was going to bring anybody else into the mix. He said, no, I trust this core group, and it looks like he's been right.
Washington blocked, and Arkansas comes back down 2 sets to 9. They take the 3 sets, and they win this match. Set 5, 15-8. What a night.
Huge pressure from Ole Miss. They can be really proud of the way they played those first 2 sets. They came out strong, and they forced Arkansas to turn on. Arkansas might have been expecting this to be an easy match to come in here and get something done from the beginning, but that was not the case. They had to scrap from the start, proving what they had.
23 wins on the year for the Razorbacks, pulling through here in Oxford. So for Key Michael, I'm Danny Wall saying so long from Oxford, Mississippi. Once again, our final score, Arkansas 3, Ole Miss 2. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.